Look at you. Proper little gentleman.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're looking at the 30 all-time greatest British mob films.
Gentlemen, please. We are about to do a job in Italy, and I would like to introduce you all.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 30, Bugsy Malone.
Whatever game it was everybody was playing, sure as eggs is eggs, Roxy the Weasel had been scrambled.
Though it's set in mob-afflicted America, and its big stars are from across the pond, Bugsy Malone is a British film that was a bigger success in the UK upon its debut than it was anywhere else.
Anybody who is anybody will soon walk through that door at Fat Sam's Grand Slam Speakeasy.
With its inventive premise, casting children to play adults and dubbing their singing voices, Bugsy Malone has become a uniquely family-friendly tale of the 1920s endemic violence.
We could have been anything that we wanted to be, but don't it make your heart glad?
Replacing Tommy guns with splurge guns, the character's greatest fears are public humiliation and a costly bit of dry cleaning if they get caught by a rival gang. And that's without getting into how catchy all the songs are, or how it helped launch the career of Hollywood A-lister Jodie Foster.
Put your flaps down, Tiger, or else you'll take off.
You spend more time putting yourself up than there is time in the day.
Number 29, Bull.
When I grow up, I am definitely going to work at the fair. 180%.
Violent mobster Bull, played by Neil Maskell, returns to his old stomping ground after his supposed death to have his revenge on his former gang after a betrayal. Written and directed by Paul Andrew Williams, who's written and directed a handful of other gangster flicks, not to mention directing a few episodes of Broadchurch, it's a film that relishes the ultra-violence it portrays.
Long time no see. Where's Gemma?
The 2020s has seen revenge stories become all the rage, a charge led by John Wick, but Bull is a smaller, more intimate story where the executions of Bull's targets are given plenty of narrative weight.
You really would have said something wrong with you.
Number 28, Gangster No. 1.
This is 1968. I'm playing Jack the Lad at snooker when all of a sudden, Fat Charlie's come in.
Paul Bettany leads the cast in Gangster No. 1, flanked by Malcolm McDowell as his future self and David Thewlis. In an intergenerational story, we follow Bettany playing a formidable character known only as the Gangster as he rises to the top of Freddie May's criminal outfit throughout the 1960s.
Straight off he gives me 500. 500 in me hands.
He's ruthless and sadistic, a personification of pure ambition who'll stop at nothing to be, as the title would suggest, Gangster No. 1.
What's the problem? You are. Still, nothing I can't fix with a few tools, eh?
Directed by Paul McGuigan, it came out as a solid bit of filmmaking, despite behind-the-scenes drama, including the departures of its 3 writers, who wrote the original play and the adapted screenplay.
Lenny Taylor's goons. Torching our club.
Number 27, The Gentleman.
Fletcher.
Buenos tardes, Raimundo.
Hugh Grant's come into his own as a character actor in the last few years, ditching the bumbling rom-com roles in favour of sleazy villains and smooth operators. Chief among them is CDPI Fletcher, whose long conversation with mob enforcer Raymond, played by Charlie Hunnam, provides the main framing device in The Gentleman.
I know what happens in my world and what doesn't. What I fail to recognise is why Michael should be motivated to write you a cheque for 20 million.
He's uncovered the life and business of Matthew McConaughey's crime magnate, Mickey Pearson, who's been growing hash on various country estates.
I understand you're getting out. Getting out? Getting out of what? Bed? My head? The closet? Don't flirt with me, Jai. I'm a busy man.
It's a little disjointed, especially for Guy Ritchie, but was eventually adapted into a Netflix series that improves upon the formula tenfold. But that's not a film, so it's not going on this list.
Easy, lads. I'm sure you're all road men, gangsters, proper naughty boys and all that bollocks. But I come in peace.
Number 26, London to Brighton.
You're a runaway, are you?
Yeah,
How long you been out here?
couple of days.
Another showing from Paul Andrew Williams. London to Brighton follows the relentless pursuit of a young woman, Kelly, and a girl, Joanne, who seem to have murdered a mobster. Pursued by criminals and living on the margins, the two escape from London and reach Brighton, trying desperately to get another train ticket to Devon so that Joanne can reunite with her grandmother.
Do you want £100?
Why, what have I got to do?
Need you to go and see someone for me.
It's a bleak story, and in general, Williams has got better, but it's still got enough thrills and twists to keep you on the edge of your seat for its tight 85-minute runtime. You can't look away until you know whether they've escaped or not.
You know what she did to him? No, I don't know anything. One of the other girls went by. Honest.
Number 25, Harry Brown. Michael Caine stars as Harry Brown, a war veteran living on a council estate with a secret talent for extreme acts of violence.
I'm scared, Harry. I'm scared all the time.
After youth stop him from getting to see his wife on her deathbed and then murder one of his friends, he vows to take matters into his own hands, dismantling the local gang one by one.
God in heaven. What are you doing with that? You know what?
It's not a perfect film, and is a dark thriller despite its premise of an elderly man going on a killing spree in London, but you can't go wrong with any film led by the inimitable Michael Caine.
Mr. Brown, D.I. Frampton. I thought I might drop by for a quick word if that's all right.
Number 24, Mona Lisa.
He owes me, Dudley. He said he'd look after me. He said a lot of things, George. Next time you see him, give him that.
Bob Hoskins plays an aspiring gangster named George, who becomes entwined with the life and exploits of a call girl after he's asked to be her bodyguard while also subtly gathering dirt on her clients.
You're going to tell me where you want to go?
The Lambert.
Jesus. Sorry?
Didn't they tell you that? You're meant to be my date, not my minicab driver.
We've got another appearance from Michael Caine too, this time as crime boss Denny Mortwell rather than a vengeful pensioner. It's somewhat predictable, as George, of course, falls in love with the call girl, Simone, and wants to help her, but doing so potentially puts his criminal career and his daughter in danger.
You don't like them?
Do you?
Well, I bought them, didn't I?
Hoskins won a BAFTA and a Golden Globe for his performance, as well as getting an Oscar nod.
You look better in the daytime.
Yes, how do you?
Number 23, The Ladykillers.
Mrs. Wilberforce,
Yes?
I understand you have rooms to let.
Oh, the rooms, yes. Won't you come in, please?
For something on the lighter side, here's a classic Ealing comedy following a run-in an elderly widow Mrs. Wilberforce has with a gang of criminals led by Alec Guinness. The wrong-uns want to rent her rooms as a cover to plan an elaborate robbery and have to evade her suspicion.
We have to have someone to bring out the money. Let's get a professional. Or bring it out ourselves.
Make a spectacular getaway, you mean? At 70 miles an hour in the heart of London in broad daylight.
She sniffs them out eventually though, and the criminals have to avoid the police in pursuit for the successful robbery, and also convince Mrs. Wilberforce that she oughtn't drop them in. But if they can't, things might not end so well for our poor old widow. You'll have to watch it to find out what happens, but it's remained an enduring success in the crime comedy genre.
Sweet little old lady like her. Just don't seem right for her to be working with us on a stick-up caper.
Number 22, The Lavender Hill Mob.
Urgent message begins. 2 men wanted for questioning in connection with theft of bullion.
Another Ealing comedy fronted by Alec Guinness, The Lavender Hill Mob is regarded by many as one of Britain's greatest films. Before The Italian Job, there was Holland and Pendlebury, who wanted to change their lives by stealing a massive amount of gold bullion.
Do I understand that you two are professional criminals? What else do you take us for, ruddy snoopers?
They didn't end things with the bullion hanging perilously over a cliff, though. Hijinks ensue as the duo team up to gain access to the gold, and then recast it so it's unidentifiable, with the police in hot pursuit. It was recently remastered in 4K, and even re-released in cinemas too, bringing this classic crime caper to a new generation.
We need everyone. We've more than 200 bars to move. We can't afford to waste 1 second.
Number 21, The Krays.
What's your name?
Reggie Kray. Reggie Kray? Ronnie Kray? What are you, brothers? Yeah.
It's fitting that the infamous Kray twins will appear twice on this list. Synonymous with the East End's criminal underbelly, Ronnie and Reggie were as famous in 1960s London as Al Capone was in 1920s Chicago.
Is this a joke?
Do you see me laughing?
Starring Spandau Ballet brothers Gary and Martin Kemp as Ronnie and Reggie Kray respectively, the Krays indulges in their mythic status across London, arguably too much.
Anyway, never mind about you. What do I look like?
Lovely, man. Beautiful.
Producer Ray Burdis actually said that he regretted its historical liberties and wished it hadn't glamorised the twins, to use his word. It remains one of the best films about the Krays, though, and a top-tier crime flick.
Welcome to our little club. You look marvellous.
Number 20, Croupier.
Welcome back, Jack.
Writer-director Mike Hodges was no stranger to the British crime film, since he was responsible for helming some of the genre's most important and influential examples back in the 1970s. We'll touch on one of those tentpoles later on in this list, but we mustn't ignore this underrated effort from Hodges that was released in 1998.
What aftershave are you using?
Never converse with the punters, slows things down. Money down.
Clive Owen cuts a dashing figure in Croupier, a stylistic throwback to film noir that nevertheless possesses touches of Hodges' cult directorial style. This is mainly a character piece, but Croupier always feels tense and on the edge, anchored by a stellar early performance from Owen. Consider this one to be something of a cult gem. Number 19. The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover.
Georgie, you're so talkative tonight, we couldn't stand the silence without you.
This film may possess an unwieldy title, but don't mistake 1989's The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover for anything less than a late-cycle crime gem. There's an artistic sensibility at play here within the film's execution that's juxtaposed against its shocking moments of violence.
Hold him, hold him.
Helen Mirren, herself no stranger to the world of cult cinema, puts on a fantastic performance here, a tour de force of emotional depth. The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover isn't an easy film to watch with regards to its transgressive content, but offers rich rewards to those who take the dive into this unapologetically rough world.
You can't make me wait.
Number 18. Legend.
Your brother is arbitrary, violent and psychopathic, probably paranoid schizophrenic.
Tom Hardy pulls double duty in another film following Reggie and Ronnie Kray, making use of modern special effects to play both roles. Legend may have been helmed by an American writer-director, Brian Helgeland, but the source material feels properly executed by Hardy and everyone involved.
Oh, there he is, my beautiful brother Reggie. A toast to my beautiful brother, home at last.
The film is a stylish one, to be sure, but never at the expense of substance. Meanwhile, the Krays' propensity for violence is never shied away from either, with Legend very much enveloping itself within the underworld of British organised crime. It's an energetic and supremely watchable thrill ride for both British crime stalwarts and newbies alike.
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Number 17. Down Terrace.
I feel like I've been fighting this corner forever, mate.
40 years, not a bad run.
The word cult will likely be coming up again and again with regards to many films and personalities on this list. This comes down primarily to the often idiosyncratic talents of creatives like Ben Wheatley. Down Terrace is yet another exemplary example of this writer-director's ability to balance the blackest humour with vicious moments of violence.
What's going on?
Everything's okay, Maggie, don't worry.
Yeah, it's just a bit of boisterous fun, Ma.
The film's plot is akin to that of a Russian doll, as deeper layers of lies and subterfuge are revealed to an ex-convict who's seeking out a defector within his organisation. Down Terrace is an embarrassment of riches when it comes to well-written dialogue and dynamic performances, and comes highly recommended for fans of Wheatley's work. Number 16. Sexy Beast.
Too hot. Not for me. I love it.
What is it about the British crime film that captures the imagination of international audiences? Is it the dialogue, the action, or the local settings? Perhaps it's the often unique titles, such as with 2000's Sexy Beast. We're not sure, but we do know that this film from director Jonathan Glazer takes an old school premise and runs with it for all it's worth.
What's that supposed to mean?
What?
That stupid nodding you're doing.
The plot device of a retired criminal stepping back into their old shoes for one more job could have failed, were it not for the stellar performances of leads Ray Winstone, Ian McShane, and Sir Ben Kingsley. This impeccable trio puts together a clinic when it comes to creating unmissable screen presence, keeping the audience firmly engaged from first moment to last.
Just one more day, darling, just one more day.
Number 15, Kill List.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra.
Ben Wheatley strikes again with a film that subverts audience expectations in a most harrowing and shocking fashion. Kill List from 2011 is one part underworld assassin game and one part occult folk horror film. The end results are honestly unlike any other, as Wheatley crafts a suspenseful narrative alongside co-screenwriter Amy Jump.
Well, tell Godfrey me, if you're the type of people he hangs about with, stay out of my way.
Kill List is unapologetically explicit when it comes to violence, yet the film also straddles a line between art house and grindhouse. Wheatley's refusal to compromise lends Kill List the stamp of an auteur as well, and it's highly unlikely audiences will forget the viewing experience after it's over.
He needs to get help.
Number 14, Bellman and True.
Right on our doorstep. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know we kept open house?
There's a deliberate aura of mystery when it comes to all of the skullduggery at play within 1987's Bellman and True. Director Richard Lon Crane co-wrote the script alongside Desmond Loudon and Michael Wearing, combining multiple genres into one layered and multifaceted story. Bellman and True largely keeps its characters' names and backstories at arm's length throughout its running time, instead utilising various monikers and code words.
I'm the governor. He's the bellman. That's all you need to know.
Kidnapping, burglary, assassination, and intrigue all come into play by the film's end, yet viewers always feel as if the truth is dangling maddeningly out of reach, making Bellman and True a unique movie experience.
Can we get out?
Number 13, Sweeney.
Oh dear, they're gonna love you, aren't they?
The 1970s were a halcyon era for police procedurals both abroad and at home in the UK. The Sweeney is perhaps the best, most loved small-screen cop show of its day, a show so successful that it spawned this feature film extension in 1977. Sweeney, the movie, still features Detective Inspector Jack Regan and Detective Sergeant George Carter, but here the action isn't fettered to television standards and practices.
Yeah, and we're the Sweeney, and this man is under arrest.
The Sweeney always pushed boundaries with regards to its violent and salacious content, and this feature film leans heavily into two-fisted, testosterone-driven action. The plot echoes the real-life Profumo affair from the 1970s, while John Thor and Dennis Waterman's impeccable chemistry brings this Sweeney to life. Number 12, Villain.
Terry? Duncan.
There's a duality at play within Richard Burton's masterful portrayal of conflicted gangster Vic Dakin. One hand, the audience is made privy to how much love and care Dakin has for his ailing mother. On the other hand, we see how mercilessly and unhinged Burton can be in his performance, lending Dakin an almost animalistic ferocity.
And old Tom's got you marked, Vic. I was talking to Frank. I'm bleeding all.
I was talking to Frank, wasn't I?
Burton clearly leads the charge here with Villain, but the ensemble cast also does a lot of the heavy lifting, particularly co-star Ian McShane. By the film's end, Dakin is unapologetic about who he is or what he's willing to do, defiantly taunting police at his arrest. And we, the audience, know all too well that he'll likely avoid justice, a true villain to the end.
We the governors, Frank. Aren't we the governors?
Number 11. Performance.
I didn't recognize your voice.
No?
No.
Oh, no. I've been away, haven't I?
Director Nicholas Roeg's maverick sensibilities served him well with this unique and uncategorizable crime film from 1970. Performance is very much a product of its era, a hazy and psychedelic film that takes creative risks with regards to visual experimentation. The film is just as much a vehicle for Rolling Stones singer Mick Jagger as it is for lead James Fox, and performance always feels as if it's going to come apart at any moment.
Right, on a nightly basis, on a horse.
Of course, the rumours that real, unsimulated sex and drug use found their way into the finished film adds to the infamy of performance. This would matter little if Rogue and co-director-screenwriter Donald Cammell didn't make performance watchable, however, and the end results speak for themselves. This is a cult film.
He's a nutcase, like all artists, but I can rely on him.
Number 10, Eastern Promises.
Not staying for a party?
No.
Nor me. Chauffeur don't get invited.
Director David Cronenberg proved that you didn't need to be British in order to construct a compelling UK crime narrative with 2007's Eastern Promises. The London location shooting lends this film a gritty authenticity that emphasises the nasty thematic business of organised crime, sex trafficking and narcotics.
What's wrong? We're just sampling.
What's wrong? Your friend Soika.
Lead Viggo Mortensen delivers a bare and brave performance with a steely reserve that's frankly remarkable. The entire affair feels uneasy and leaves audiences with an upset stomach, particularly those averse to bursts of visceral and ugly violence. Cronenberg may be best known for his work in the horror genre, but Eastern Promises ensured that both fans and critics saw the bigger scope of his creative talents.
How can you keep doing what you're doing?
I'm just a driver.
Number 9. Layer Cake.
The business is on the up and up, but I've always said, have a plan and stick to it.
There are a number of tentpole names when it comes to the modern era of British crime cinema. Matthew Vaughn almost certainly needs to be included in this conversation, since the London native has been prolifically active as a writer, director and producer. Layer Cake was Vaughn's debut behind the director's chair and bellied that relative inexperience with an approach that was cocksure and determined to impress.
So Morty did 10 years because Freddie Hearst fell asleep.
But he kept his mouth shut.
Of course, it helped that Vaughn also had a young Daniel Craig in the lead, alongside stars like Sienna Miller and Tom Hardy. The established trope of wanting to go straight is explored here with a stylistic flair that's typically British and undeniably Vaughn's, even at this early stage. It's brilliant stuff.
Man sells his soul to the devil. It all ends in tears. These arrangements usually do.
Number 8. Brighton Rock.
Well, would you, Molly?
There would arguably be no British crime archetype were it not for Brighton Rock setting the blueprint back in 1948. This combination of murder mystery, noir and gangster picture went on to influence generations of filmmakers and actors in the wake of its release.
Well, I think we better go where we can talk in peace, huh?
This is not only thanks to the revelatory performance of Richard Attenborough in the lead, but also Harry Waxman's moody cinematography and John Bootling's assured direction. The age of Brighton Rock takes nothing away from its impact, nor its legacy, and it remains essential viewing today for any cinephile seeking to understand the roots of British crime.
The wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them.
Number 7. Sitting Target.
That's where you're going to end up.
If there's one film on this list that could be labelled as criminally underseen, then it just has to be 1972's Sitting Target. The film features a powerhouse performance from Oliver Reed, a man already known far and wide for powerhouse performances, together with a very game Ian McShane. Reed is feral and unhinged as a cuckolded convict out for revenge, with the actor taking this very simple premise and shooting for the moon. Make no mistake, Sitting Target practically bleeds 1970s ugliness and spit, and never apologises for its protagonist's unlikability. Then again, this is exactly why cinema from this day is largely lauded today. Sitting Target feels real, dangerously so, in fact. It's also an absolute must-see. Number 6. In Bruges.
That's for John Lennon.
This next film stands in stark contrast to many other examples on this list, in that In Bruges also makes time for some black comedy. Of course, this takes nothing away from the criminal elements at play, since the film centres its focus upon two hitmen. The mentor and mentee themes at play almost feel like they echo the Charles Bronson film The Mechanic, albeit with a modern twist.
It is a bit over-elaborate.
Colin Farrell's penitent assassin contrasts nicely with his more experienced partner, played by Brendan Gleeson. Meanwhile, Ralph Fiennes as the pair's boss more than exerts the required amount of menace. As a result, In Bruges is a small ensemble piece that's totally worth checking out.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Number 6. Snatch.
Here, Errol, I don't think he likes me. You don't like me, do you, boy? I know what you mean.
Another career-making vehicle for Guy Ritchie. His name really is synonymous with cool, stylish gangster flicks that will never shake their British roots, nor should they want to. Snatch is one particular film that always comes to mind with regards to Ritchie's legacy as a filmmaker, and with good reason.
Brings you to it. Run out of pence to sniff?
That sounds like hostility, doesn't it, John?
Oh, and we don't like hostility, do we, Errol?
No, we don't, John.
Everything simply comes together on this one, from the witty banter and dialogue to the brilliant ensemble cast of Brad Pitt, Jason Statham, Alan Ford, Vinnie Jones, Dennis Farina and Benicio del Toro. Snatch is action-packed and possesses a wickedly dark humorous streak, but never feels too grim that it resists repeated viewings.
Are we taking him with us?
Number 4. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
£100 is still £100.
Not when the price is £200, it's not.
It truly took a village to unleash Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels to the movie-going public back in 1998. Guy Ritchie directing, again, Matthew Vaughn producing, again, and a cast that includes Vinnie Jones and Jason Statham, again. Count us in.
$500,000.
I'm game.
Of course, none of these tidbits of information would have made Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels good without the righteous screenplay from Ritchie. This film exemplifies so much of what makes the modern British gangster film work on both a visceral and intellectual level, and it paid dividends with both fans and critics.
Where do we start, Rory?
Mr. Breaker. Today, my name is Mr. Breaker.
Number 3. The Italian Job.
I've been counting the days.
Yeah? Well, why didn't you come and see me when I was inside then?
Charlie, you know that's not my scene.
This British crime film from 1969 is probably the best known film from director Peter Collinson, but we advise not to sleep on the man's work. Collinson helmed a number of excellent thrillers throughout the 60s and 70s, but it's The Italian Job that put this director in the Hall of Fame.
Gentlemen, please. We are about to do a job in Italy, and I would like to introduce you all to each other.
This is a heist film to end all heist films, and a textbook example of how to execute this genre to fun, exciting perfection. The Italian Job serves as a time capsule of sorts for Britain's swinging 60s chic, and remains effortlessly cool. Additionally, the thrilling car chases, terminally hip dialogue, and a star-making turn from Sir Michael Caine all come together to lift The Italian Job to the head of the class.
We won, didn't we?
Number 2. Get Carter.
Let's have another drink.
If The Italian Job presented Sir Michael Caine as both a likeable and bankable star, then consider 1971's Get Carter to be its grizzled, roughshod cousin. Caine's performance as Jack Carter isn't without charisma, far from it in fact. However, this film presents a much more grim and realistic look at the criminal underworld, and those denizens who inhabit its depths. Carter is a man out for revenge for the death of his brother, and he'll have that revenge at any cost. Mike Hodges' directorial debut feels like that of a sure veteran hand, and never lets up for a second. Meanwhile, the score from Roy Budd is one for the ages, mixing jazz and funk orchestrations to genre-defining effect.
Stay where you are, Peter. No!
Number 1. The Long Good Friday.
Maybe we should have gone to the airport to meet him.
No, play it cool. When the governor of Coca-Cola drops into London, the Queen don't go dashing off to Heathrow, does she?
We're pretty willing to bet that if you've seen The Long Good Friday from 1980, then you can quote by heart some of its intensely memorable dialogue. We're also willing to bet that, if you haven't seen The Long Good Friday, then you'll be shocked by Bob Hoskins' brilliant performance as Harold Shand. Forget the Bob Hoskins you remember from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or the Super Mario Brothers.
What are you doing? You crazy? I don't like people looking up my nose when I'm talking to them.
Instead, Hoskins' Shand is a dyed-in-the-wool gangster with pipe dreams of going legit. Unfortunately, both the American Mafia and the Irish Republican Army have other ideas, leading up to a flurry of conspiracies and double crosses. The less further said the better. Just go out and watch The Long Good Friday right now.
I've treated you lot well, even when you was out of order, right? Well, now there's been an eruption.
Let us know in the comments who you're more afraid of, Ray Winstone or Tom Hardy.